Joining me right now is Jessica Phillips. She's the founder and president of the Now Marketing Group and the organizer of Social Media Week Lima, coming up June 18th and 19th in Lima, Ohio. It's the Midwest's largest social media conference. And Jessica, tell us what's coming up this year. Can't wait to get back there for another year of Social Media Week Lima.
I love that you said you can't wait to get back, because our theme this year is craveable. So how you can create an irresistible brand so people want to keep coming back, getting more and more from you. We're going to talk lots about content. We're going to talk lots about what's relevant and working today in digital, through relationship building, through being authentic, through thinking through a head, heart, hand approach. So we really have a incredible lineup of speakers. You're not going to believe me when I tell you how many we have. Actually, you may know because you're one of them, but with 28 speakers lined up this year. So more than double from last year. This is our 7th year. We're so pumped and excited at everyone that's coming. Like, we're already over the attendees from last year. So I'm pumped.
One of the reasons I'm excited about this topic, craveable, because I think it's really important for video content, whether it's short form video uploaded to LinkedIn or it's a long form live stream. How do you get people to come back and start building an audience and building a community with craveable video content? What else does craveable bring to mind for you?
Yeah, well, real quick, before I mention that, I want to talk about what you just said with the video content, episodic content, keeping people coming back. You've probably seen this, but the announcement 3 days ago, maybe now, by Facebook, they're saying how they're going to start ranking video, and that all the video that they're going to give more priority to, which why people are doing video now, because they're like, oh, it gets more engagement, right? Well, now not all video is going to be created equal. They're saying videos that are episodic, thoughtful, loyalty-based videos are going to be the ones that they're giving priority to. So I could talk on that for a while, but the other things about craveable, in addition to video, which is huge, is really thinking through your content on your website, through audio, podcasting, through, really your messaging overall, like even how you're showing up in your responses back and engagement with others. So we're going to talk about the content that's working, kind of breaking down the networks, what's really working to drive your audience back to you, whether that's your current clients that you want to grow repeat referral business with, but also your community that's going to continue referring you on. So they may not be one of your clients, but they could be one of your advocates, right? So how do you keep them engaged and coming back as well?
That's right. And video content, if you upload it natively or you go live natively on that platform, seems to be, for many platforms, the number one priority. The other thing we're looking at more is conversation versus vanity metrics. And it's interesting because Instagram announced it might be doing away with likes. Have you seen that? And
I love that. Okay, so everybody loves this slide when I present that it's stop counting likes, start counting conversations. Like, who cares about that, right? Unless you're starting a conversation that is meaningful, that has some kind of impact on you as a person or your business, then it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The likes are just there for vanity metrics, which does not help us grow ourselves or our business at the end of the day. So I love that they're thinking about doing this. I do love that all of the networks seem to be focusing on going back to the social and social media, right? And being authentic. So we really want to double down on this whole process and this movement. Last year, as you know, you were with us for the human experience. This is that next evolution to that.
Right. When you look at what's going on right now with social and some of the different changes, I know that we cover a lot in 2 days at Social Media Week Lima, but are there a couple of platforms that you're most excited for small business owners and people trying to get attention within a local market to look at?
Oh, yeah. So there are some platform presentations. So especially like Facebook groups and Instagram, two that I see have huge growth, as well as LinkedIn. So depending on if you're a B2B or a personal brand, or you're a B2C, it's going to matter the network that you're on. So a lot of our talks on day one are all about the methodology, right? So that you can apply to any of the networks. And then we start breaking down the network specifics. So talking about video and all the networks, but then also talking about, okay, how can you use Facebook groups to build a craveable brand? How can you use Instagram to create this craveable brand? And then how can you use LinkedIn to grow your business? So not only are we going to have tactical sessions on day two, but we're also going to have deep dive, let's get your hands dirty, table talk sessions where you're going to be able to meet with an expert, all focused on a platform specific or a strategy that you can say, hey, I've been trying to work on this for X amount of time. Please help me out. And they're going to be sharing their secrets and their secret sauce on how you can really build a craveable brand within that network.
Well, one thing I'm excited for, the first day, for those who may be going for the first time or thinking about going for the first time, the first day is a traditional conference type of keynotes and panels. And then the second day has some speakers, but then it gets into the breakout sessions where Jessica said you can do a real deep dive on an area of subject matter interest. You're adding a wrinkle this year where the people who are leading those sessions are actually going to give a brief talk to let you know kind of what's coming up or entice people to choose their session.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how that's going to work.
That's called the lightning talks. So topics that you may not know much about that you would want to deep dive on, like yours, which I'm super excited about, Alexa Flash Briefing, and how you could use Alexa Flash Briefing for your business. Like, I love that podcast. I just heard on another show this morning that podcasts are going to start being indexed by Google for voice search. And, what better thing to then focus on voice search and Alexa Flash Briefing and some of these trends that are coming up that brands probably have no freaking clue about. And quite frankly, could scare them a little, right? Because it does us marketers that are like trying to catch up at sometimes. So that 10-minute talk on saying, here's what it is, here's why you should care about it. And if you want to deep dive in on this with me, come join me at this table and let's do it together. So adding several lightning talks to at least give some awareness around it. So if nothing else, they know that it's coming and can do the research on their own, or they can choose to go to a table talk and really focus on that before they leave the conference.
So how many years now? What year is this for the conference?
Great question. I never really know how to answer this. Officially, it's 7 years. However, unofficially, we've really started pushing it out more instead of us like, oh, we're going to have something in our office with some people, right? To really focus on building a community and a larger community for about the past 4 years. Yeah.
Wow. So how did you get started with Social Media Week, Lima, and how did you build it to where it's become now the biggest conference in the Midwest for social media professionals?
Yeah, so originally it came from going to Social Media Marketing World. So I've been to all of them. I went through the very first year. I loved it. It was a different kind of conference. I was used to going to very much industry conference where it's like presentation, don't talk to your neighbor, take notes, and then leave, right? And it was completely different. It was like, this was about the networking and the great content and the relationship building and the support. And I loved the energy there. And I was like, oh my God, we need something like that in our hometown. So, what they say, if you can't find it, build it, right? So I couldn't find anything locally at the time. So I decided in a couple weeks time that we were going to do our very own, kind of started around, okay, Mashable has a social media day. But I wanted to make it like a full week of activities. Now, while we only have 2 days now that we're doing activities, we've done other things throughout the week, like doing tweet chats and live videos and that kind of stuff to play off the rest of the week. So that's what inspired me to do it. What's helped me grow it is honestly meeting others and just building relationships with them, whether that be at another conference, whether that be online, and really following and supporting with their messages and sharing it out and saying, you know what, you are an authority on this subject. Like you, Ross Brand, are an authority on video and podcasting and Alexa Flash Briefing, in my opinion. And so I would love for you to share your thought leadership to the community here.
Right.
So by doing that, then people have wanted to come and show up. And also I think it's because of the bobbleheads, if I'm honest. Like they get speaker bobbleheads. So.
That is the greatest gift.
Where's yours? Yeah. That's really what.
Right here. And it's good. It's in better shape than I am. It's thinner, more nice.
That's how mine is too. I'm like, kudos to the artist.
Yes.
I love you.
Yeah.
You know, no wrinkles are on there. It's perfect.
It's really well done. It really was so much fun. And I just saw the pictures the other day as I was looking for a couple photos. I saw the pictures of the whole group of bobbleheads lined up, which was
so much fun, right?
Yeah, and I think for people, if you haven't been to a regional conference, if you've only been to either local meetups or big national conferences, there's something special about the regional conference where everybody's in the same room. It feels like a big conference in the sense that there's a lot of energy and a lot of tables and everything, but yet you get to spend time with everybody. There's no barriers between speakers and attendees, between everybody involved. Was that something that you kind of focused on to make it different from so many events where somebody's over on this track and somebody's on that track, and they could be best friends and never see each other for
I wanted to feel like a big family event, right? Like all of us are in this together. I always theme the event around what I feel is coming or seeing what I'm seeing today, and then target speakers that I feel like can best bring that message to the audience. And then I want all of us to have that experience together, right? So we have the photo booth right in the middle, like side, so in between sessions, everybody's going to take pictures, and it's prominent there because I want people to have those memories and those experiences together. And so everything, whether that's the networking, the conference presentations, the photos, everything all in one room where we can feel connected and as a family in there.
Yeah, it really makes it a lot of fun. And of course, relationship marketing is your thing. And I gotta say, you really live it. I mean, there's almost like no small detail that isn't being paid attention to that could enhance the experience for speakers, for attendees, for your own team that's putting it together. What is involved in running an event like this? I mean, is this a 12-month a year thing, or how do you go about finding time to run the event in addition to everything else you do?
Oh, so we learn something new every year, right? Like, oh, we should have did that like way ahead of time. Right. So yes, we've been working on it all year long. Do we focus like heavy-handed at 11 months now? No, because we're still recovering from the last one. But we do focus on it all year round, and we have a spreadsheet, and in our spreadsheet, we're like, okay, this needs to be done by this date and that date. And luckily, we're very fortunate that we had people step up and say, you know what, I really love this event. It's my favorite I've been to, and I want to help. So we've had a lot of volunteers that have helped out, and a lot of community partners that are like, hey, I want to provide the food, or hey, I want to provide water bottles to you, or, it is truly all of us coming together so we all benefit. And just a killer team that I have here at Now Marketing Group that really helps as well, like recruit volunteers for the days of, that helps me, stay organized with it all, and, elicit sponsorships. So just everybody working together. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, the contributions from the community, the venue's amazing. And then you don't have to leave the site to go get breakfast or lunch. Yeah. There's always something there for the attendees.
We love food in the Midwest, and we will feed you to show you our love. Yes.
I think that is a universal thing.
It is.
Loves to get a nice meal when they're somewhere. One of the interesting things to me is the group of speakers that you're having. Tell everybody a little bit about a few of the highlights of the sessions.
How do I just pick one or two? Okay, so we're gonna have Stephanie Liu, which I'm super pumped about, and she is Lights Camera Live. I'm sure you're familiar with her, as most of your audience, but she's talking about how you can captivate on command. So how can you captivate audience attention with using only your words? So we're kind of starting out, like I said, with this head, heart, hand approach. So what should we have? What should we think and our audience think? How can we make them feel so they use the hand to make a purchasing decision? So we're starting out with Stephanie, talking about using your words, right? Like people thinking. And then we're going to quickly move into Brian Kramer doing even this on stage, really breaking down that process on creating a craveable brand. And he's going to do that a live hot seat on the stage while others watch. And they can take some notes from that. So super pumped about that. And then we're having a increasing your lifespan of your business. So using video, again, trying to get to the hearts, create empathy, really explain your message. And you're hosting that, Ross. So I'm super pumped about that panel with Jen Watson, Judy Fox, and Daphne LeBlanc. So that's going to be a rock star panel. And then we also have how to use social and emotional intelligence. And that's Tiffany Lanier. So she's going to be back again. She had such an amazing talk last year. She's going to be talking through that. Then we're going to have Troy Sandage, Brian Fanzo, and Damian Ross on a panel together talking about, a real discussion on creating craveable content. And then Jeff Howell is going to be talking about your story, like how truly to get to the heart of your audience and creating craveable through, your story and why it matters to tie more of yourself into it. And then we're going to have the harsh truth on content. So what doesn't work? And that's going to be with Chris Straub, Christine Gritman, Mike Alton, and Addison Zhang, excuse me.
Wow.
And so they're going to be some powerhouses there, right? So they're going to be talking about like, what are they seeing that really does not work and what does work, like just breaking it down. So try to pick diverse people that basically I'm sure is going to say very similar kind of things that aren't working, but very unique things that they're doing using their own personality with their brand that does work. So my goal is to see, so the people that are in attendance can see multiple different avenues with basically, if you understand the concept and you can feel it, that you can then approach it your style, right? That there's not one way to success.
And I'm hoping to get out of that. Amazing to be able to save people that time from real practitioners who are creating massive amounts of content over the course of the year. To be able to report back and say, perhaps don't do these things because they're going to eat up the time that you have to spend on social and aren't driving, any results for your business.
Exactly. And the presentations, every single one, I want it to be something you couldn't get in a blog post, right? Or a video, like something you need to experience there and that it's going to be very value added. So then speaking of that, relatability is a future of marketing. That's going to be Brian Fanzo on day one. And then building a superpower personal brand. That's going to be Mia Voss. She's going to be talking about no matter if you have a big brand or you are your brand, like still why it matters to have a personal brand regardless, right? And your teams as well within a company. So she's going to be breaking that down and what that means. And then day two, we're going to have the Now team breaking down really the steps to managing your social media and what we do in-house and how you can replicate that process for yourself. And then it's going to go to Kelly Noble Marabella talking about chatbots, Bella Vasta on Facebook groups, and then a small business panel with Mike Gingrich being the host of that small business panel and what's working for growing your ROI with content. And he's going to be interviewing Terry Dupron, Sarah Anderson, and Dan Mullenkamp. So 3 very unique businesses that are just business owner powerhouses that have really used social media to grow their brand in a big way. So they're going to be talking about what they did and how they did that. Then it's going to go into the lightning talks and then table talks.
Wow.
And that's 2 days of boom, like a massive awesomeness.
That is a lot of good insights and good information and great speakers packed into a couple of days. You can get your tickets at livestreamuniverse.com/SMWL19. In fact, if you tweet about this, use the hashtag or post on Instagram SMWL for Social Media Week Lima, and then the number 19 for 2019. livestreamuniverse.com/SMWL19 to get your tickets. We do hope to see you there. Thanks so much, Jessica. Great chatting with you again, and I look forward to seeing you next month.
Yeah, I can't wait, Ross. Thank you so much.
Thank you.